ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by T. Rowe Price. Understanding the connections of a complex global economy. Invest with confidence. And in part by AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network, period.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. It's like overload. Yeah. Okay.
What is Ole Miss from the field?
They've missed many.
What are they from the three, JD?
Computer's down.
Have they made 4 threes or 3?
4.
4?
4 for 5, I think. There we go.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. 4 for 6.
4 for 6.
Oh, jeez. Kid, you ain't that good yet. All right. Yeah.
Join the Rebels on Saturday, January the 15th, as they take on the Georgia Bulldogs. Tip off is set for 4 p.m. For more info or to order tickets, log on.
Well, we wish Cam the best at the next level. He'll either make somebody awfully happy or awfully sad, I guess. Sidney getting a breather, and I think he needed it, Mark. A couple times he almost spit his mouthpiece out in the first 5 minutes.
Well, what you're going to see is his conditioning right now is not where it needs to be. Rick Stansbury will give him breaks around timeouts. When it's an extended length timeout, take another minute or 2 on the front or back end of that. Turn those 2 or 3 minutes into 5 or 6 minutes. That's one way coaches like to rest their players.
DeBost at the free throw line, where he's struggled this year, but knocks down the first one. He's got 3. Preseason All-SEC choice. 6'2" junior out of Concord, North Carolina, and knocked both down. He's got 4, and the lead's down to 3. And it looks like Mississippi State will set up in the zone again. They chase Warren out on top, and enough pressure to cause a turnover.
Even though Ole Miss has made 4 3-pointers to start the game, Some may say, why would you stay in the zone? Sometimes you can find shooters easier in your zone defense. Rick Stansbury with success staying with his 2-3 zone.
Feed the low post again, and this time blocked, but the second time it isn't, as Cody Augustus has his first basket.
Terrific second effort.
Skip pass over to Warren. He was thinking about a three, but nice job defensively by Jalen Steele to get on it. And the pass tip back to back. Rebel turnovers now. And DeBost, that great burst of speed. And all of a sudden, Mississippi State back in front.
Remember, when this Mississippi State basketball team was gone for 14, 16 days on the long journey road trip, DeBost was at home and he wasn't able to practice. So his rhythm is going to take a while to get back into that regular form.
And when he's in form, he's one of the tough ones to guard in the conference.
Without question. I told Rick Stansbury last year, you reminded me of Mo Williams with his speed up and down the floor, who played for us at Alabama. And you've got to contain DeBost early and stop him. You have a chance to have success against DeBost.
Wendell Lewis lost the handle. Mississippi State 6 turnovers here in the first half. Here's a pull-up three, way short. Might have been partially blocked. We approach 13 minutes. Mississippi State with the lead here by 1 on the road, and going to be a foul on Stedman short. ESPN, your home court of college hoops. Saturday's got 3 games for you at noon Eastern. You can catch the SEC battle between Vandy and Tennessee. It's part of our game day action. And at 2 o'clock, number 1 Duke. Well, they'll still be number 1 in that game against Virginia. It won't be number 1 next week. And then they'll top it off with Vanderbilt and Tennessee's women teams going out at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. All 3 games part of conference tip-off on ESPN. Also available on ESPN3.com. Brad Nessler, Mark Godfrey, and our ESPN2 crew here in Oxford, Mississippi. Good battle early between the Rebels and the Bulldogs at 13 minutes remaining in the first half.
Mississippi State in what we call their tilt action against the zone.
Whew, I don't know about that one. Rayburn's got good range, but he was way off kilter when he took that shot.
Ole Miss has struggled against this zone defense. Got to find ways to get the ball in the middle of the floor, right on that SEC logo. Use the short corner and really move the basketball quickly.
There was some decent penetration and drawing a foul on the inside. I don't know if that's going to be on Bryant or Steele. This is what Mark was talking about. You leave home from Starkville in December and you don't get back till it's almost January.
Well, those kids were gone over the Christmas holidays, and it's a long time to be in a suitcase and in hotels. And you know, Brad, I like you, but I don't want to be with you in a hotel for 14 days either.
No. If we had to travel 10,300 and some miles together, I don't think we'd be getting along that well. And they didn't get along, obviously, very well in Hawaii, as most of you know.
Well, and the reason, DeBost ineligible, academically ineligible early, served a suspension from the NCAA. Bernardo Sidney not eligible. Rick Stansbury trying to push those games in a period where he can get these guys eligible for SEC play.
And this time ball out of bounds, but last touch by Ole Miss.
It's interesting. I think Rick Stansbury's received a lot of criticism for that road trip, but there's a method to the madness. And he understands that if this team with DeBost, Bernardo Sidney, with games under his belt, if that group can find a rhythm, they can become one of the best teams in this league.
And if this guy, which just gave the ball up, Rayburn Johnson, can fit in and still feel like he's getting his touches and starts hitting on the outside, then look out. Yep. They were trying to get it over the Rayburn, but Sidney threw it away. They've had 6 different starting lineups due to all the suspensions and turmoil that Rick has battled through in this his 13th year as the head coach in Starkville.
Rick Stansbury's taken 10 teams to the postseason, 6 to the NCAA tournament.
Warren, nice kick out to Graham. He's got his 3rd three.
Gotta like the penetration that created the jump shot.
Chris Warren did the penetrating and then the perfect pass out to a guy that's just as hot as he is from 3-point range. Short that time with some pretty good defense. And part of it's the penetration they had from Chris Warren, who got it out to Graham on the last one.
Without question. Ole Miss likes to use a lot of ball screens, and Rick Stansbury understands and knows it. And has since played a lot of zone, trying to eliminate a lot of those ball screens from Ole Miss.
Chris Warren just came down, took a heat check, and Renardo Sidney with the rebound. Now they feed the big guy inside, but he was off his jump when he got the basketball.
Just mishandled it a little bit. Terrific pass by Cody Augustus.
Williams in traffic, and he hits the deck. We'll go to the free throw line.
Well, and that's what you want if you're Andy Kennedy, to take this basketball strong right at Renardo Sidney. You know, one way to negate a player is to get him in foul trouble.
Right.
Renardo Sidney, you know, not in the best of shape just yet, so go right at him. That time picked up a foul.
And sends Nick Williams to the free throw line. Williams 81% from the stripe. Oops. Just when I said that, he clangs one off the back of the iron. Mississippi State, rather Ole Miss, is the #1 free throw shooting team in the conference at just under 75%. Graham gets a breather. And Terrence Henry comes back in.
Nick Williams, a transfer from Indiana, from Mobile, Alabama. Tough, strong, steady. Probably the most consistent player on this Ole Miss basketball team.
They match their biggest lead now, up 5, and a little half-court pressure on Bosk. Beanock says, well, I'm open. I might as well take it. I think he should have thought about it a little quicker. He looked away as if he was going to pass, and I think it took his concentration away, and he missed a 3.
Rick Stansbury staying with the zone. Some of the reason for this zone defense is he knows his players are not ready yet to defend man-to-man and all the different things you see in man-to-man offense. So by necessity, Rick Stansbury going to the zone, staying with it.
See if they try to pack it in to the big guy, #1. They move it around the perimeter. He keeps changing on that low block, but Rayburn Johnson double teamed, has to get it back outside. Now the lob. This is the catch this time, and he walked with it before the shot. Well, they got what they wanted, but he took an extra step. Second time tonight he's done that.
I think those are the kind of plays we're going to watch a week from now, 2 weeks from now. You're going to see a little bit more sharpness, crispness with those kind of plays. From D. Boss, #1, who hasn't played in November and December, to Renardo Sidney, who hasn't played in November and December.
He is a massive presence. There's no doubt about that. 6'10". They list him at 275. That might be before breakfast and lunch. I don't know. Extra pass. Good job defensively by Mississippi State to get on the shooter. Now Warren's open. He's missed 3 in a row now after hitting a couple early. And the ball out of bounds to the Bulldogs.
Pretty good job attacking the zone by Ole Miss. We always talk about ball movement, man movement. Get it moving quick. Don't let it stick in your hands.
Beanock, this time he squares up and just takes it, but he missed it again.
Those are shots you've got to make.
He's
Wide
been
open
hitting it.
shots, yes.
He's been hitting it at 45% out there, but he's missed 2 in a row now. Gaskins doesn't connect either. Lob underneath. Again, a tough handle for Sidney, and they turn it over.
D. Boss knows where he wants to go with the basketball, and he's certainly trying. Ole Miss needs the basketball right in the middle of the floor, by pass or by dribble. Right in the paint, right there.
There's the paint, but they turned it right back over to D. Boss on a foot race with Warren, and he won it.
You know, I was in Hawaii and watched this Mississippi State team, and this is a different team with D. Boss. There's a calmness that a point guard delivers, and a good point guard. D. Boss brings that to this team.
Warren, 3 this time it goes. Well, when you got a shooter like that, he's not going to be worried about missing 2 or 3 in a row. He'll keep taking them. He's got 9, and the lead stretches to 6. Beanock skips it all the way across court. They move it around without a dribble. And now lob it inside again. And one too many passes, I guess. Warren, coast to coast, but he missed the shot. Cody Augustus will clear it off. And we're under 8 minutes. Ole Miss by 6.
The matchup between Warren and Boss, fun to watch. Two terrific point guards in this league.
Boss missed all those games partly due to academic suspension. The rest of it was that he entered the NBA draft and didn't get out of it quick enough, and saying that he wanted to come back. So that was part of his suspension. So the rust still wearing off him for sure, as well as Renardo Sidney.
Well, and during that time, Boss did not take care of the academic work, and that cost him as well.
And going to be Ole Miss ball. Side, and he and Zach Graham each have 3 threes in the first half. That's why Ole Miss has got the lead. Mississippi State has 12 of their 17 points in the paints at the 7-minute mark. And they've got their starters out there right now. Raven Johnson, Augustus, Beanock, Bost, and Renardo Sidney. Raven Johnson's been non-existent. Beanock will try another 3 from the other side. Knock it down.
Great shooters. Keep shooting. Rick Stansberry encouraging Riley Beanock after he missed a few to continue to fire it.
Wouldn't you be happy at the 6.5-minute mark if Raven Johnson, the leading scorer in the conference, wasn't scoring at all at this point?
Absolutely.
Ball loose again. Ole Miss sloppy with the basketball on that trip, and Boss comes down and he's going to throw it away unless Johnson can save it. He tried to, but it comes right back to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss needs to move the ball quickly. Don't let the ball stick in your hands.
Inside, Zach Graham has been doing most of his damage outside, and now he's got 13 points in the first half.
The game within the game, when teams zone, defense wants you to settle for jump shots. The offense needs to continue to find ways to attack the rim inside by pass, by dribble. Ole Miss, terrific execution.
Bost draws a crowd. Around the perimeter, they work it with 10 on the shot clock. There's an opening for Cody Augustus. I'm not sure that's the shot they want, but he missed a 3, and the rebound is Terrence Henry's. Augustus does have 16 threes this year, but he's shooting 27% outside the arc. As we approach 5 minutes, Henry, the kick out to short. Boss with a rebound. Lead to the big fella. Tried to finger roll it. Looking for a foul call. Didn't get it.
Boy, terrific pass by Bost. A great setup.
Graham misses a 3. Henry off the backside. Will keep it alive. Nelson. Where was that one heading? Dundrekus Nelson, the freshman, was off by about just a little bit outside. Let's put it that way. Raven Johnson still trying to get off the schneid. Hasn't scored.
Both teams like the weather. We've seen some snow and some ice outside.
You got that right. Well, ESPN, your home court of college hoops on Martin Luther King Day. ESPN delivers 4 games with some of the best teams in the country. Coverage starts 3:30 Eastern. UConn and Villanova get together at 5:30. Kansas State and Mizzou. 7:30 Syracuse rekindles their rivalry against Pitt. At 9:30 Kansas and Baylor in the day's finale. All 4 games also available online at ESPN3.com and on your phone. Top 10. Well, Duke lost last night, if you missed it, to Florida State, so they won't be number 1 next week. Ohio State will be if they get through the weekend. Kansas and Syracuse also undefeated.
Keep your eye on that Pittsburgh team, even though they have a loss to Tennessee. Impressive team. And how about for BYU? If you have not put your eyes on Jimmer Fredette.
What did he have the other night? 46 or something
47
like
on the road at BYU, and going on the road to UNLV against a well-coached Lon Kruger team in Vegas, gave them 39 on the road. So
he is fun to watch. Warren again out of a timeout. Takes a first shot 3 and missed it. Now they work it around to Henry in the corner, and he knocks down a 2. Terrence Henry's first basket.
Terrific ball movement. That time you saw Ole Miss move the basketball where it's not sticking in their hands. Almost like hot potato, hot potato. Let's get it moving. Open man gets the shot.
Biggest lead of the first half, 7 for Ole Miss. And that three goes by DeBost. That's only his second three of the year, but of course this is only his second game of the year. And he's the leading scorer right now for the Bulldogs. Coming off a 14-point game in the loss to Alabama, but he looks sharper tonight. Henry tried a finger roll off the glass, and Bost will track down the rebound.
DeBost again makes the right play.
Bost with 11 in this first half, trying to keep his team close, and he has. They're only down 4 with 3.5 to go.
Great point guard. Settle your team down. It's like a quarterback. It's like Andrew Luck for Stanford. They just make the offense seem easy. Offensive players seem calm when you've got a great point guard.
Stanford's got a new head coach today.
Offensive coordinator David Shaw. Congratulations.
Your son's out there playing wide receiver. Thinks that's a pretty good choice, I bet. They'll have a good quarterback still throwing to him next year. 3:06 remaining first half. Tight game. Rebels at home by 4.
Skilled players in high school a few years ago. When you look at that class of John Wall and some of the other players that are already in the NBA, and this guy was right in the thick of it. Top 10 player in the country.
Chase DeBost, who gets it back to Cody Augustus. The extra pass goes awry, and back come the Rebels just over a minute to go in the half. Nice no-look pass to Henry, but he couldn't do anything with it. And now Nelson will try three. It might be a 4.
Dondricus Nelson, Murrah High, Jackson, Mississippi. The home of Mo Williams and Othello Harrington and a long list of great players. What I like, Brad, is the fact that he shot one from there a few minutes ago and about broke the backboard and did not hesitate.
He didn't even hit the box on the glass with his last one, and he buries that one at a chance for a 4-point play. And he's got it.
He's such a strong player for a freshman. Got a great body, very coachable, great quickness.
So just when the gap had been closed, a 4-point play puts it right back to 7 for Ole Miss.
Andy Kennedy's going to play him straight up man-to-man. Look for Mississippi State to go right inside to Sidney or penetrate.
Beanock will try 3. It comes out. Bost keeps it alive. Goes right off the glass. Nice turnaround jumper by DeBost. He's got 13.
Boy, his presence. He got the offensive rebound and quickly looked over the floor to see if he needed to pass it and saw an opening shot it quickly.
Henry thought about a 3. They work it around the perimeter. There's about a 9-second difference in the shot clock and the game clock. Now it's 9 to shoot. Nelson on a runner. Rebound. Who's going to get it? Ole Miss tracked it down, but got a foul inside on Ole Miss on Zach Graham, his second.
Tough play for.
I think I'd get him out of there right now if I was Andy with 11.5 seconds to go.
Got a nice offensive rebound and just kind of quickly turned.
Big shoulder.
Put the shoulder down.
DeBost took it right in the kisser. And we got a timeout with 11.5 to go.
Even in one half of basketball, even though Mississippi State is down 5, how many different ways has DeBost affected this Mississippi State team? Ole Miss has pressed him. He's handled the press. Against the zone, he's got the ball where it needs to go. He's made shots. He's defended. He's taken a charge. The difference of having a lead guard like DeBost will be huge for this Mississippi State team.
When you look at the Star Watch update, Rayburn Johnson, I mentioned a little while ago, he's got nothing. He's barely touched it. And Chris Warren, on the other hand, has got 9 points. It's Zach Graham that leads the way for the Rebels with 13.
And you and I have talked about the chemistry. When you bring players back in at Christmas that haven't played in November, December, Rayburn Johnson was averaging nearly 22 points a game. So your team needs to learn itself. There's a period, and this Mississippi State team is in it, where you're learning how to play.
See if the Bulldogs can cut into the lead before half. Final 2 seconds. Bost, long ball, and he got it. Oh, what a shot. Swanee, Georgia. Again, that's 6 o'clock Eastern Time Friday, ESPN Town Hall meeting. Brad Nessler, Mark Godfrey, our ESPN2 crew in Oxford, Mississippi, where we've got a battle. It's the 242nd time in the Egg Bowl of hoops. Ole Miss and Mississippi State, the Bulldogs just turned it over with a chance to regain the lead. And now it goes right back to DeVos the other way.
How about those quick hands?
Rayburn Johnson still hasn't scored. Augustus got the rebound, and he's fouled.
Boy, DeVos with the quick hands in the break to get the steal. Push it back Mississippi State's way. You know, Cody Augustus has had a couple there right around the rim.
Yeah.
He's had great opportunities where he's just bobbled the basketball.
Boss looking to lob it inside, and now he has to drill a pass that really never got close to Rayburn Johnson. And they throw it away, and that's something he doesn't do very often. Rick's got to be happy with what he's seen tonight, though. On the road, tough place to play. In-state rivals, 15 minutes to go in a one-point game.
As you and I sat down with Rick Stansbury prior to the game, you know, he is a guy that's got a lot of optimism.
He does.
Even in the midst of how his team plays, knowing what this team can become.
Whistle before the shot. And I think it's going to be on Cody Augustus down low.
One thing about Rick Stansbury, he's been in this league a long time. He knows what you have to compete in this league. And
Beanock almost got a steal, and then it ends up being a foul on DeVos instead, trying to hustle for the basketball. DeVos picks up his second good hustle by the backcourt of Mississippi State. All it does is pick him up another personal foul.
Mississippi State, Rick Stansbury back to the zone defense. See Terrence Henry right there in the middle of the floor.
Well, they got a little penetration off it, but Nick Williams missed badly on the mid-range jumper, and now Bost ahead to Augustus. Gets it right back to him for a long three. A little too long. We haven't had a score here in a couple of minutes. Both teams with an opportunity to kind of seize the moment. Warren down low, and then he ran into that brick wall that weighs about 300 pounds. But somehow he got the pass by him. And Stedman short with his second basket. Gives Ole Miss a 3-point lead.
Terrific find by Chris Warren. Andy Kennedy wants to see his team step up the defensive intensity. Ole Miss in their man-to-man defense.
Well, he hit a three earlier. He got another one. First two of his career.
Nardo Sidney having fun tonight.
Williams rattled out a three. And trying to stay with it was Zach Graham, but he lost it off his foot out of bounds. Bernardo Sidney was 0 for 4 on threes coming into this game. In the second half, all 6-10, about 3 bills worth. Boom. Second one for him. And he's tied the game at 43.
And again with 13:45, Rick Stansbury knows that under 12-minute timeout is coming. So Bernardo Sidney will get an extended break right around the timeout.
Right, a lot of trips up and down the floor when you're carrying that big a body. Almost threw it away. Rayburn Johnson tagged down his own errant pass, and now Beanock trying to get it low. Nice job defensively by Short to knock it out of bounds.
Keep in mind this Mississippi State team and their losses, 6 out of their last 7. They've been down by over 20 in 5 of those losses. And those losses have been by an average margin of 21 points a game.
Bost pass might have been too good to Wendell Lewis. And a whistle and a foul on Beanock. Interesting, Bost, when he turned that ball over, he knew it was a good pass, and he sort of tapped the sophomore on the back of the head as if to say, hey, man, hold on to the next one. Home court of college hoops on Saturday. Game day in Knoxville. Vandy and Tennessee at noon. Then we'll take a little break. Virginia and Duke. And then back to Knoxville and Thompson Bowling Arena for the Vanderbilt women against the Tennessee Lady Vols at 8 o'clock. All part of conference tip-off on ESPN on Saturday.
Big game in Knoxville. Vanderbilt, terrific win last night over Georgia.
It'll be about 22,000 in Thompson Bowling Arena for that twin bill. Warren got a three. 17 for Chris Warren, and a big shot to give Ole Miss the advantage back.
Chris Warren has made so many big shots. So great players take their teams to great heights.
He's led his team in scoring 10 times this year, and he's leading them right now. And here he comes the other way. That one was just as much pass as it was shot. He was hoping he was going to get some help from his friends, and he did. They keep it alive.
Terrific hustle by Nick Williams to track that ball down.
Gives him a fresh shot clock. And now Warren. He and Gaskins out on top. Williams, little finger roll, doesn't go. Augustus pulls off the miss. 12:20 to play. Ole Miss by 3. Rayburn Johnson, the #1 scorer in the conference, 0. You just wonder if at some point he hits one, and if he hits one, he might hit 3 in a row. But so far they've taken him completely out of it. Pick and roll, and an extra pass inside, and it will go. Nice look. Jalen Steele.
Nice pass by Wendell Lewis.
Now we're up and down the floor. They can do this with Sidney not on the floor. They don't have to worry about his fatigue.
This is the pace Andy Kennedy likes. Pushing
Warren.
it.
Another one goes. 20. #3 scorer in the conference showing wide. 20 points for Warren. 4-point lead Ole Miss. All right, Mike, here you can see the cold and snow outside in Oxford. Inside, good game, 49-45. Rebels in front. Both teams trying to win their first conference game.
This young man right here, the point guard position, Brian Bryant from Mississippi State. He's filled in nicely this year. D. Boss was out early.
Well, he's going to keep trying him. That one's just inside the 3-point line. And we're seeing Renardo Sidney now. Before the halftime break, it was all inside with dunks and free throws. Everything's been outside for him. 8 points in the second half, 17 for the game.
Again, one of the reasons why Rick Stansberry stayed with this zone and he's had success is Renardo Sidney can plant right there in the middle of the zone and not use a lot of energy.
That foul is not going to be on him. It's going to be on Brian Bryant. That's his second. Almost at the midway point of the second half. Ole Miss clinging to a 2-point lead. Their 3-point shooting is what has them in the ballgame. They're 11 out of 26 outside the arc. And they'll try another 3. And it'll go again. 12-27. And that is a career-tying 7th 3-pointer for Chris Warren. He had 7 a couple of years ago against Auburn. He's knocked down 7 tonight here on his home floor. Trying to get it down on the baseline to Jalen Steele, knocked out of bounds. Henry will come back in and Buckner will go out. Cody Augustus is going to check back in for Mississippi State, and Wendell Lewis will sit.
You can almost sense with Mississippi State it's a different feel with their team with D. Boss not in the game.
That's no doubt about that. Now you start to wonder if Rayburn Johnson's going to be held scoreless in the game. We're halfway through the second half, and he still hasn't hit a shot. 7 to shoot. Bryant on the dribble. Nice crossover. Tried to leave it to Johnson, but Warren comes up with a steal. He's going to go up and under with a finger roll in the right hand on the backside. What about that move?
What a terrific way to use your body to shield the defender.
Chris Warren's putting on a show.
The deflection and the awareness to use his body to basically eliminate the defender's ability to try to block a shot. You talk about a guy who's valuable to a team. Chris Warren, the point guard, the scorer. You know, last year with Tarico White, never seemed to really get in a great rhythm. This year, the ball's back in his hands. Simplifies the game for Chris Warren.
It's Back in the hands of D. Boss now for Mississippi State, and he immediately makes an impact as he got it down in the low block to Renardo Sidney, who's going to have a chance for a three-point play.
As D. Boss came off the ball screen at the top of the key, the positioning. Renardo Sidney using his body, the strength, his girth to pin the defender.
Missed the chance for a three-point play. But he does get it back to 5 with that low post move.
You're playing against Andy Kennedy's basketball teams with Chris Warren. You have got to prepare for ball screens all night long.
Augustus in the paint, and it's stripped by Warren. Stedman Short will come back in. And you always worry about the foul trouble when you're in a game this tight. We've still got almost 5 minutes to play as Augustus knocks down the second of 2. 5 for him, 2-point game still.
And Rick Stansbury continuing to stay with the zone. They're going to extend the zone around Warren wherever he is, 1-2 steps above the three-point line.
They get it inside to Henry, and he's fouled again.
You got to keep going right to the middle of the floor, right in the heart of the defense. Put the pressure on Renardo Sidney, the middleman of Mississippi State's defense. You cannot settle for three-pointers. Inside-outside attack for Ole Miss.
Next Mississippi State foul, Ole Miss will be shooting. Nelson missed the outside jumper, and here comes Boston in a hurry. Enoch drew a double team, and so did Boss. But they get it back outside. Here's Rayburn Johnson. Got it for the lead.
You called it. That first one he hit. Sometimes a shooter, you just need to make one. All of a sudden, the rim begins to open up, and it seems bigger and bigger. Rayburn Johnson's done it too many times.
None bigger for Johnson than that last one. Gives the Bulldogs the lead. They're on a 7-2 run. Inside, nobody on Stedman Short, and nothing short about his shot. He's got 6.
Defensive breakdown for Mississippi State. They were concerned with shooters. Left the middle of the floor open.
Again, Nelson got behind the screen by Sidney. He learned his lesson after getting decked the first time. Boss, great move up and under. His first basket in a while. He's got 23 for the game.
What a difference D. Boss makes with this team. D. Boss has such a quick first step. He can be past you, by you, before you understand and know where he is.
You know, it looked like Nelson had good position on him defensively, and he blew right by him. Here's a three-pointer, rims out. Oh, how about that? Stedman Short rattles it back in.
Rick Stansbury may need a timeout only because Renardo Sidney, we talked about his conditioning, he's tired. Right now, he's gasping for air.
Boss throws one up as he's fouled on the baseline. Add to that 23-point total. 3 for 3 from the free throw line tonight. He had 25 in one of the games last year against Ole Miss, and 11 in the second matchup. Both wins. Just ripped them both. 25 for both point guards. Mississippi State back in front by 1 on the road.
Ole Miss has not been able to pull Mississippi State out of this zone defense, and it's enabled Renardo Sidney to kind of camp in the middle of the paint.
Zach Graham did some damage early in the first half from three-point land. The rest of the time it's been this guy, and he's going to take one. This won't go. He had 2 guys make a run at him, but they'll keep it alive. Graham saves it on the sideline. Fresh shot clock. 2:05 to play in regulation. Graham will try it. He's open.
Not in his rhythm.
Nope.
The shot, he was a little bit out of sync.
He's kind of looking around as if to think, should I take it? Should I square up? By the time he decided You're right, he was out of his motion. Bost guarded by Graham this time, but he lets fly. Rebound, who's going to get it? Henry. I beg your pardon, Short with a rebound. Opportunity for Ole Miss to regain the lead. We're approaching the 1-minute mark, and Andy Kennedy wants to talk about it.